Hey, we're back again. It's another Age of Empires 4 replay. This time, again, I'm playing as Abbasid, and I'm up against my opponent Safir, who is playing as the French. Let's speed up past this intro. For this game, it's on a sort of hybrid map. My opponent's down here in the opposite corner, but there are some small lakes scattered around the map. They offer an opportunity to get fish, so it's another source of food. Um, in terms of the matchup, I love facing French opponents. Uh, they love to go cavalry, and Abbasid is just incredible at dealing with cavalry. Our spearmen are just incredibly strong. The phalanx upgrade is amazing for them. I'm super happy about the matchup. Going to be doing my standard plan here, which is start going to the second age with the economic wing, get fresh foodstuffs, and while I'm maybe in mining the nearby stone, and put down a second town center and start producing lots of villagers, put military buildings down, and try to take map control. Once I hit the second age and I get fresh foodstuffs and maybe a economic upgrade, I'm going to pull my villagers off of gold, pull my villagers off of stone, and just focus on food and wood. Scouting around with my scout, I find a lot of sheep. I produce a second scout. I've gotten really used to getting two scouts no matter what the matchup is. I just really enjoy having the extra vision. And I actually find some of my opponent's sheep down here, so I'm really happy with all the sheep gathering my scout is able to accomplish. Scouting his base, I see the School of Cavalry. Not much of a surprise there. Going to be seeing some Royal Knights headed my way. So I put down a barracks and saying to myself, okay, gonna need some spearmen. I'm desperately mining for my stone. Once I get to 300, you'll see me pull everyone off of stone, and you'll probably see me pull people off of gold. Yeah, I've only got one gold miner. Return the sheep home. I'm set up to get wood, food. I got my stone. Now I'm just going to gather up the required 400 wood. And I'm keeping my scouts nearby so I can see where his Royal Knight is going to charge in. The moment I make my spearmen, I start to distribute them towards different collection points on my base. I've even taken, I've taken the villager off of gold. This is kind of nice. I like this strategy and this build order because I really only have two places I'm gathering. Central area with the food, with the berries and the sheep, and then the wood over here. It's almost like I expand a little bit to get the stone and gold, and then I shrink back and condense my base down to just this sort of key area here. I can fit it all in one screen. There's his two Royal Knights. He's going to be doing charge attacks, trying to target down villagers. He already got one, but these spearmen are starting to scare them off. I also get an archery range. I say to myself, one barracks, one archery range. That could probably discourage the Royal Knight harassment. Not going for any economic upgrades. Should probably get forestry. But this is all I'm sticking with for now. It's picking off the occasional spearman. But he really can't get into the core of my base because these town centers will start shooting and my spearman will likely close the distance. I decide to send 3 spearmen out. It didn't seem like he was getting too aggressive with his Royal Knights, so I said to myself, well, if I've got some spare spearmen, let's send them out. And I scouted a small hunting operation of his down here. He's hunting deer at this mill. So I decide to send my spearmen there to maybe do some harassment. Of course, they get attacked by wolves on the way. I figure if he tries to respond to this harassment with 1 knight, these 3 spearmen are going to make quick work of it. And yeah, there's the villagers. I decide to target fire a few of these villagers. Oh, yeah, there's the target fire. So I get a villager there. He gets a villager here charging my gold mining operation. And I've decided to put villagers back on gold because I'm looking to advance eventually. And I'm producing so many villagers at this point. Continuing to harass, there's another villager down. I'm sort of engaging with his Royal Knights on the back end of all this. Try to keep my archers away from the Royal Knights, but the spearmen should always be engaged. Whenever his knights get low, he's probably going to retreat them so they can heal back up. Pleased with the harassment that went on here, rather than following his villagers in. Oh, I'm actually harassing over here too. Rather than following his villagers into his base for further harassment, I just send my units out here and then shift queue them to come back and attack, thinking maybe if he pulled his villagers and then sent them back out, I could keep harassing. Trying to distract him so that I can accomplish more things at my base. Try to trade a little bit on the villagers. But so far we've each done a little bit of harassing. Oh, this is nice. I've got 5 of his villagers hunting my scout. They're not chopping, so they can go ahead and attack my scout for all they want. And it looks like even a wolf got involved, so it's a bonus. I decide, okay, things are going pretty well. The Royal Knight harass is kind of coming to a close, so I'm going to expand to this mill. It's pretty sneaky. I don't think he'll notice. And I've got a decent force of spearmen and archers. I'll expand back here, try to keep it a secret. My spearmen find stone miners. I assume he is mining this stone for another town center. Oh, I really want that last villager, but looks like I'm not going to get it. His knights actually do find the mill up here that I kind of secreted away, but my army is in hot pursuit, so he can't really do anything about that. I'm feeling good here. Still got plenty of sheep, thanks to my good scouting early on. I say to myself, let's hold on to the advantage we've got. Let's put down some walls so that his cavalry can't just run through there as easily. Here they come. They're going to try to harass the berries. But at least my forces are busy trying to shoo him away. And I actually have some archers here attacking his wood line. They maybe kill 1 villager. It felt good. I like the idea of holding on to just enough forces at home to defend. And I try to, yep, I'm able to build a wall to trap his cavalry in and kill 1 of them. At this point, I am feeling good. I think I've got the advantage. I've done all sorts of harassment. I've killed probably the same number of villagers that he's killed of mine, but that is to my advantage because I have 2 town centers that are constantly producing cheap villagers. So I'm more than happy to have the first part of the game play out like this. I'm sending my standing army out. This is my plan when I'm teching up to the 3rd age. go and set up a forward position. Don't need to do damage with this army, just need to kind of look around his base, see what kind of forces he's got, see what kind of buildings he's got, and then sit outside his base and create a safe zone for my villagers to rally to. My plan is still tech up to the third age, get the preservation of knowledge upgrade, and then send a rally one town center to a forward position near his base, put down various Castle Age buildings, including the Siege Workshop, Mosque, and the Keep. If I can put those 3 buildings down, then I'll be able to siege his base, I'll be able to defend the area with the Keep, and I can get the medical centers upgrade, which will allow my Keep to heal my units. And with the mosque there, I can gather relics that are in sort of near the middle of the map. And I can also use the relics offensively to convert if perhaps he swarms my position. It's a good area denial. If they come too close, I tell the imam holding the relic, convert. And this big AoE circle appears. If units are caught in the circle, then they are converted to my side. He tries to engage here. Bad idea from him. There's way too many spearmen here. 8 of them. This is when I say, oh, I'll go attack. But after a little bit of harassment here, I say to myself, whoa, 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 let's not get ahead of ourselves. Get a villager there, that's great. This is when I say, you know what, I'm losing my forces. Let's just consolidate and hold an area of the map for me to put my forward base down. Yeah, I think I start chasing these around and then realize, oh, my forces are really thin. Let's actually just group somewhere. So I say, this seems like a good spot. It's pretty defensible. There's wood nearby, so I can chop some trees down. But this is where my Keep, Siege Workshop, and Mosque are going to go. And I've already started rallying villagers to that area. Yep. This small force is here. I could use it to defend my base, or I could send it forward. Not really sure what I'm going to do with it, but I'm already starting to get my Castle Age units out. No real need to make a lot of man-at-arms at this stage, but I do want the crossbowmen. The crossbowmen are going to be really helpful. And I'm hoping I got my, my Age 2 buildings, the blacksmith marketplace. That's great. And it looks like I immediately got the preservation of knowledge. That's awesome. Everything is so much cheaper. My priority at the blacksmith was to get the military academy. It reduces the time to produce infantry, siege, and transport units at buildings. Really helpful when you have a siege workshop up front, because you can get out mangonels, trebuchets at an incredibly fast pace. My scout spots this group of villagers over here trying to mine gold. They're probably going to kill him, but now that I have knowledge of that, I can harass it in the future. He does a charge, tries to kill a villager. Wow, doesn't even. And I'm walling off more. I'm tired of these cavalry attacks, so I'm putting outposts near some of my gather spots, and I'm walling off as much as I can. If this chunk here is the only place where his cavalry can get in, so be it. I can deal with it with a standing army. Looks like with this army, I send them to chase after his horses, but I don't know. Maybe I should have kept some of these people at home. Instead, it looks like I sit them on a relic in case he decides to play the relic game with me. I'm also rallying units to the front lines, so you can see they're being produced incredibly quickly thanks to that barracks upgrade, or the military academy. So now my unit production is a lot faster. These crossbowmen are coming out a lot quicker. In terms of upgrades, looks like I've got some of the wood gathering technology, some of the mining technology, Got wheelbarrow. These are all incredibly cheap now, so probably knock those out quick. I assemble a mangonel using my forces, and I say to myself, let's start sieging. This keep is going to be done in a second. This is getting the spring Alden placement. I don't think he can really fight into this, and so this is the start of my siege of his base. Yep, going to be getting out a trebuchet. Got this keep up. I see 2 blacksmiths. I figure those will be the first victims of my siege bombardment. All I'm seeing from him right now are knights and archers. So as long as I keep making spearmen, crossbowmen, mangonels, should be fine. As you can see, the mangonel does a decent job against buildings. And now that the trebuchet is out, we're going to start bombarding all of this. I figure these are some good soft targets. It's all just farmland. They'll be good targets. Yep, starting to get my imams. He does a very good counterattack at my base. You could see I had to retreat a lot of my villagers. My farms are not working right now. Fortunately, I have some food gathering going on at this mill, going on at this mill. As Abbasid, it's important to grab those nearby berry patches. This is pretty fortunate. His Royal Knights run this way, and they don't realize that they've been boxed in. So these knights are doomed, unfortunately. Coming forward into the keep, not the right move by my opponent. Yep, they have nowhere to run. Good idea when you've got an army chasing down some units. Attack move and then shift Q if you know that they're going to probably kill the units they're chasing. Shift Q them somewhere else. That way you don't just forget about them like I probably did with this group. Advancing with an outpost. You'll notice that the trebuchet is targeting farms. I didn't ask it to do this, it's just targeting on its own. In retrospect, I love that it is attacking these farms. Notice that it is a one-shot, one-kill with these farmlands. And these cost, what? A decent chunk of wood. Every time it hits, it's starting to pay for itself, and it's starting to reduce his food production. So I thought I wasn't taking down key buildings, but one-shotting farms honestly seems like a good strategy. I mean, he's got idle villagers now. His food income is likely starting to dip. He wisely makes spring alts. He's going to use those to target down my siege units. At the same time I'm putting on the siege pressure, I realize, oh, I can harass this area where he had his gold mines set up with just various units. This is kind of the plan of setting up a forward base. Make slow damage over here, and then send units on the backside to take out the resource areas and the buildings. He is no doubt building opposite of where my sieging is taking place. So yeah, he's losing all these buildings. He says to himself, oh, well, I should build farmland over here and mine the gold over here rather than try to move this way. So I'm forcing him to go one way, and then I send squads of units to clear out this backside of the map to try and get a flank. Relics, looks like I've got one. My imams are starting to pull them off the map. That looks great. Back home, producing lots of villagers. I'm up to 83. That's great. I'm population blocked, so should probably fix that. Oh, it looks like some miss rallies here. I didn't even realize it. These units need to be sent forward. Yeah, I've got a lot of units just sitting around at my base. Good for when he does these cavalry drive-bys, but there's no way I don't think I ever noticed that I had these units back here. Blacksmith is churning out upgrades. Yep, it's a good move by him to harass like this. Hopefully I notice that I've got my troops back here. I think I send these units to attack them. I'm okay with losing villagers right now. I have so many of them. I'll just produce them all right back. As for the siege line, his springalds are starting to do good work against my trebuchets. But I'm realizing that this is turned into a springald war, so I start producing springalds of my own. I've even got Siege Workshop is putting out more trebuchets. Looks like I sent my force that was sort of attacking out here to try and get his mining camp. Use the springalds to target down his springalds. At least I have my infantry involved, so he has to pull back his springalds or they're just going to get burned down by my units. You can see they're throwing torches. He tries to do the same with his knights, but there's just too many crossbowmen here. Whenever I'm in these fights, I try to look for clusters of archers or crossbowmen who aren't doing anything. So I saw there was a group here, I move them forward, get them engaged over here. The trebuchets at this point, I mean, this one has been firing for who knows how long. They're starting to take down military production buildings, so his archery range just fell. His farmlands that used to be here are just completely destroyed. And we're starting to move on to his town center. We already took out his second town center right here. We're moving on to his primary one down here. I think this matchup really showed the strength of my forward base strategy. Oh, you can see my food suffering because those cavalry really did do a lot of damage out here. I think I'm just rallying villagers back to the farmlands, yeah. So at least I can get them replaced. Yeah, I went down to 74. I probably lost a dozen villagers to that Royal Knight harassment. If only I had noticed these. At least these are rallied correctly now, but shame that I've got a dozen people back here. Up to 3 relics now. My income is off the charts. This game's in the bag for me. Like I was saying, it went well because this forward operation just went off without a hitch. I got map control early on with my spearmen and archers, took a section near his base, dropped all these buildings down, and then let the siege commence. If my opponent had maybe walled off more on the back end of his base and had a safe area to put his villagers or his military production back here, I think he could have put up a good counter offense. He had a good count of villagers, but instead my small forces were able to slip through here and harass his villagers gathering. Anyway, it was a great game. Hope to see you back for the next